So this is part 2 of the setup video. We're still on the setup form itself. We've gone through the general parameters and the protocol submission requirements. We're now talking about continuing reviews. Continuing reviews due date is X number of weeks prior to the protocol expiration date. So when a protocol is approved by the IRB, it has a date of approval, and Mentor just simply looks out 1 year from that date and sets that as the expiration date, and that's per the regulations. You can then set a date prior to that due date that the or that expiration date that the continuing reviews are due. So you want to set that typically 4 to 6 weeks ahead of that expiration date so that your IRB gets that continuing review in time to have a meeting and review that continuing review and either terminate the protocol or continue it. This value then sets the number of weeks prior to the continuing review due date that an automatic notification is going to go out from Mentor informing the PI that they have an expiration date coming, that their continuing review is due, and that they need to go into Mentor and complete that process. So this would be effectively, this notification is going to go out 6 weeks prior to the expiration of the protocol, because 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. If you have particular problems with, or you have problems with investigators not completing their continuing reviews, you can block new protocol submission if any continuing reviews are past due. So you just set this one to yes, and the investigator won't be able to submit a new protocol until all of their past due continuing reviews or terminations are completed. Additional reporting, here's where you can control whether adverse events, DSMB reports, protocol deviation reports are enabled or disabled on the investigators page and on your own view of the protocols. Use meeting agenda and minutes. If you're not using the agenda function, then you can simply switch it off, and those navigation items disappear from your view and from the PI's view. Under the reviewer section, show reviewer comments to PI. Some IRBs prefer that the reviewer comments remain hidden from the PI, so you can have yes, show the reviewer name, yes, show the comments to the PI, but don't show the reviewer name, and then no, you don't show the reviewer comments at all to the PI. So you have a lot of flexibility here on how you manage the reviewer comments relative to the PI. You can also decide whether to include the names of assigned reviewers on the agenda and minutes page. So if this is set to no, those reviewer names are not there, and again, that would be to protect anonymity if that is your practice with reviewers. Certification, if you are going to require PI certification, that is certification of human subjects training, then you would set this to yes. You can require IRB member certification. You can require research associate certification. And you also have the choice to require certification for exempt protocols. So if it's an exempt protocol, the PI doesn't have to have certification. That's up to you again. And you've seen in the previous videos where the where Mentor manages those certification documents. You set your renewal date here. So if it were 3 years, you could set this to 150 weeks essentially, and that would be the time frame for renewal. And if you wish to notify your PIs of an upcoming expiration date of their certification, you can say X number of weeks prior to that expiration date. Mentor will automatically send out a notification via email. Finally, labels. Some IRBs use different terminology. So some IRBs, instead of using the word protocol, might use a different term, say application. So they can change those labels here. We have two, one for singular and one for plural. And also you can set the continuing review label to either continuing review or annual report, whatever is your custom. We control this one. We don't let you do this one sort of by hand, because there's certain space requirements, so that's why we only give you 2 options there. So you would save that, and that would update those notifications. Finally, PI permissions. This has to do with whether or not and who can be a supervising PI. So Mentor has a set of types of individuals and user types in the user record. And so, for instance, here's a case where you might want to use this. Hospitals, for instance, have residents, and that might be a type of person. And the hospital may decide that the residents require a supervising PI. So you effectively treat the residents as you would a student, and require a faculty or staff member to be a PI on their protocols. So this allows you to determine which of these types, and again, these types are defined by your institution, not by us, but which of these types require a supervising PI, and then over here you determine which of these types can be a supervising PI. So that about covers the system settings. This is the templates page. All of those notifications that we looked at before are listed here on this page. You can do a custom header if you like, or you'll see here that these templates already have a header in them. So this is a protocol approved notification. We pre-populate these templates with standard text here and with the appropriate variables, but you can edit this text. It's very simple to edit these templates, customize these templates to your liking, to whatever text you would like, the contact information, and so forth. You'll notice that these are variables, so each of these square bracketed items is listed down below, and this defines what the variable is. So the word title is going to be translated as the protocol title. The IRB ID is going to be translated as the ID number, and so forth. So these are fixed. You can put text around them, move them around, but you have to use these variables kind of verbatim, and this is the list of variables. Obviously, not all variables are valid in all templates. That depends upon the template and what it's used for. So again, we pre-populate these for you, and then you can customize them. So there's a little bit of setup here to customize these as you see fit. As you can see, there's a lot of different templates, but once they're done, and Mentor simply just translates those templates as I showed in the previous video on the protocols page. There's a page here for IRB members, and so you got a list of your members, and you can send a message to the members of the committee. So it's a convenient way to communicate with the membership of your committee. Members get added not on this page, but they get added over here on the admin manage organizational info page. So that's really an administrative function. So somebody will be a system administrator and can add and remove members of the IRB. Here's the IRB members documentation page showing whose documentation is up to date and whose needs to be updated. Protocol surveys, this is the place where those surveys that I mentioned can be defined. You can define any number of surveys and then assign each of those surveys for different purposes, whether they're PI surveys on submission or for reviewers and so forth. So you got a simple question here. This is a yes-no question. It's very easy to add questions. You can give a question a short name, so this might be exempt, say, and you have a variety of question types: true, false, multiple choice, multiple select, short answer, long answer, numeric, and so forth. Because this is part of our general survey system, some of these options might appear a little out of place in the IRB context. For instance, true, false questions shouldn't typically have a correct answer, but here that's what these two items are. So not all of these items would make sense in the context of the IRB, but you have a variety of question types. And then you can simply type in your question. You can edit your options. I'll show you what that looks like with this existing question. So you have a lot of flexibility in creating, checklists or any set of questions effectively that you want your investigators to answer. And finally, administrators. The IRB chair has the authority to name additional people who can have administrative function on the IRB. So the chair can name a secretary or IRB coordinator or anybody else that they feel is necessary to have listed as an administrator, and they can just as easily remove that person from their administrative rights. So that's the setup, and that about concludes this set of videos on the IRB system. If you have any questions, we urge you to contact us at Axiom Education, sales@axiomeducation.com, or if you're already in communication with us, you're certainly free to contact me, Kurt Nazer, at my email address, or through sales@axiomeducation.com. Thank you.